after discovering my girlfriend's infidelity. I always thought my girlfriend was the purest little white rabbit. I never expected her to be a contrast bitch who is slutty to the core. She actually video called her stepbrother in the toilet in the middle of the night, wearing a sexy maid outfit, wriggling around and softly calling with a clipped tone, "Master, come quickly, come and give orders to this servant girl." However, giving me a green hat is not enough. She also wants me to pay 500 Daro yuan in betrothal gifts for her stepbrother. Otherwise, she won't marry me. 1,000 curses are running through my mind. Marriage? Dream on. A pair of scumbags. Get ready to face the storm. 1. I drank too much at night. When I woke up halfway through sleep, I was so thirsty that I got up from bed to look for water to drink. As a result, I found that my girlfriend was not there. I rubbed my throbbing head and walked out of the bedroom. I found that the light in the bathroom was on. I thought it must be my girlfriend in there and didn't pay much attention. But, just as I was about to get water, the partition glass door of the toilet slammed shut. I turned my head and saw 2 round shadows of my girlfriend, pressing against the glass door and constantly wriggling up and down. This kind of frosted glass door is not clear when there is a little distance, but once it is close, the outline can easily appear. My girlfriend is actually wearing a maid outfit today. When did she buy this? Why did she buy such a thing? Usually when I watch videos and a few sexy beauties pop up occasionally, she will pinch my face and say it's disgusting. Why today? The blood in my body gradually boiled. I thought this was a little surprise she had prepared for me, but just as I was about to rush in and enjoy it, my girlfriend's coquettish voice appeared. I was stunned for a moment. But this is not the most shocking. After my girlfriend's voice, an excited voice panting heavily came from the bathroom. Baby sister, I'm done. Bastard. I stood there with wide eyes, unable to recover for a long time. Her stepbrother Calvin's voice, which is as if bombarded, is very recognizable. Alea is from a reconstituted family. After her biological mother died when she was 18, her father remarried a stepmother. Calvin was brought in. His surname used to be Zhang. As far as I know, they have lived together for at least 3 years. My head is about to explode. Hasn't Alea been ridden by her stepbrother for 3 years? Damn it. Disgusting. Baby sister. The cuckold is sleeping soundly. You are making such a fuss and he didn't notice. No, he drank some wine at night and slept like a pig. When I sneaked out, I slapped him and he didn't notice. He thought I was kissing him. This idiot. Baby sister. I love this state so much. Promise me, you must marry him. This man is easy to deceive and we can always maintain this relationship. Okay, master. Then when will master serve this servant girl next time? Oh, baby. Don't be like this. I can't stand it again. Tomorrow you will bring this. Just thinking about it is exciting. I was so angry at the conversation between these 2 scumbags. How can people be so shameless and perverted to such an extent, even if there is no blood relationship? But I'm not dead, right? Are you treating me as if I don't exist? Alea, I really misjudged you. I was furious and couldn't wait to rush in and beat up Alea right now, and then expose their scandalous affairs. But, for some reason, I suddenly calmed down again, thinking carefully, this won't do. It's too cheap for them. I seem to have heard Alea say before that Calvin just got a girlfriend. The girl is beautiful and charming. The key is that her family is rich. His parents attach great importance to this marriage. I gently clenched my fist and the corners of my mouth slightly rose. My eyes were gold. A pair of scumbags. Get ready to face the storm. If I don't take revenge, I swear I'm not a human being. I went back to bed. When Alea entered the room, she came over and secretly glanced at me. Alea obviously trembled. I had a stomachache in the middle of the night and went to the bathroom. Husband, how are you feeling? It's okay. Just a little headache. By the way, I want to tell you something. I got up from bed. Under the faint light, Alea's face was still flushed. She noticed my gaze and quickly touched her face. It's a bit hot. Husband, what do you want to tell me? It's nothing much. Recently, my family is urging me, so I want to go to your house and talk to your parents about getting married. Tomorrow? Alea seemed very excited. I nodded with a smile. Yes, let's go tomorrow. I can't wait. Okay, husband, I'll listen to you. Alea laid down and slept together, but she kept tossing and turning, as if she couldn't sleep. This bitch can't wait either. The next day, I carefully selected and bought some things and took Alea to her hometown. Her hometown is in the countryside. The people are simple and honest. Almost all honest farmers. But it doesn't include her stepmother. Her stepmother seems to be from some big city. Just by looking at her clothes, she is completely different from rural people. That's not avant-garde. Just imagine a 50-year-old woman wearing heavy makeup all day and wandering around in the rural fields in a big suspender. Can you imagine that impact? Yes, to put it bluntly. She is slutty. Ugly and slutty. And also very picky. I remember when I went to her house for the first time. She clearly unsecretly disliked that I bought a few things. She forced me to take out an extra 500 yuan before giving up. My future father-in-law is honest. He can't say a word even if you hit him with a stick. Basically, he lets this woman do whatever she wants. Nikolais is here? Just in time. Your uncle has gone to pick fruits in the orchard. Hurry up and put down your things and go and help. As soon as I entered the house, before I could even have a sip of water, Alea's stepmother walked over with her bloated waist twisting. With a big wave of her hand, she gave the task. She didn't give me a chance to speak. She turned around and called her son over. Calvin, quickly put these things away in the side room. When you visit your girlfriend's house someday, take them with you. Don't leave them outside, lest they be opened and eaten before they are even warmed up. Alea's stepmother's words had a hidden meaning. I knew she was talking about me. Last time I came, I bought a box of high-end drinks. At noon, because I couldn't drink alcohol, my future father-in-law suggested opening them and drinking. That's how the problem started. But as a hostess, don't you know how to entertain your future son-in-law? It's fine if you don't say thank you after receiving my things, but you still want to give them to your future daughter-in-law in front of me. So partial to your son, right? Fine. I pretended to help Calvin carry things. When we got to the side room, I said to him, "Brother, you have good energy." Calvin laughed and glanced at Alea outside the side room. As long as you are in a good mood, your energy will naturally be good. I forced a smile and took out a blue packaging box from my pocket. Secretly, I stuffed it to Calvin. "Brother, this is specially prepared for you by me." "What is it?" Calvin was curious and wanted to open it. I stopped him and whispered to him, "I heard that brother recently got a girlfriend. This is to increase combat effectiveness. It's excellent. Don't joke, brother-in-law. I am strong and healthy. Do I need this thing?" "Hey, the effect is different. Wipe it before using. Try it and you'll know." I gave a wicked smile. Unexpectedly, Calvin showed an even more excited smile than me, and nodded meaningfully. "Brother-in-law, then I can't let your kindness go to waste. I will try it as soon as possible. It should be, who told you, but you are my brother. I won't tell him that that thing was carefully selected by me and specially prepared for him. There is pearl cotton added on the wet wipes. Why are you so slow? I already said that your uncle has gone to the orchard. If you want to be someone else's future son-in-law, you don't have any sense at all." When Alea's stepmother saw that I was delaying all the time, she pointed and walked into the side room and almost pulled me out. After pulling me to the door, she ordered again, "Buy some food when you come back. I want to eat a big pork knuckle. Also buy 2 cat ties of crayfish and 2 cat ties of crabs. Shall I buy you a chicken? Do you want to eat it?" "What did you say?" The old woman glared angrily. I smiled and said, "Auntie, I said I'll buy you a chicken. Do you want to eat it?" "No." The old woman snapped back. I nodded and left with Alea. Alea really didn't want to leave. But if I'm not on the scene, the good show must not be staged. No matter what, I have to take her away. Then the two of us and my future father-in-law didn't come back until noon. I bought the things the old woman wanted to eat, but I added a little bit of laxative to them. I made an excuse to say that I wanted to go to the toilet. Alea carried the food and entered the room. Some people may know that the bathroom and toilet in an old rural house are shared. The water directly flows down from the latrine. Alea's house is this kind of structure, and the shower is not solar-powered. It's just that simple black hot water bag. I quickly took out 2 packs of prepared coarse salt from my pocket and poured them into the hot water bag. There are many invisible sharp objects on that pearl cotton thing that can pierce the skin and cause allergies on ditching. Once hit, it must be relieved by taking a shower. Salt water has the function of disinfection and sterilization. I suddenly feel that I am a good person, although my future father-in-law has just returned from farming. But just like a donkey in a production team, he immediately starts cooking and doesn't have a moment of free time. Alea, come here. I want to tell you something. Calvin couldn't hold it anymore. He poked his head into the room and waved at Alea. Alea actually pretended to be reserved. What's the matter? Oh, you'll know when you come over. TSK. So mysterious. Just say it directly, if you have something to say. Although Alea complained, her body involuntarily followed Calvin and entered the east room. Truly pretending. I rubbed my palms in satisfaction and waited quietly for the good show to begin. At this time, the old woman came over, carrying a bottle of mineral water and casually putting it on the kang. Nicholas, Auntie wants to talk to you about something. She sat on the edge of the kang, crossed her legs and ate crayfish freely. The taste of this crayfish. I was startled. I thought this old woman's mouth was so sensitive. Could it be that she tasted it? The taste of this crayfish is really good. Where did you buy it? Oh, at Lao Li's supermarket. I secretly sighed. The old woman nodded and didn't say anything else. Then she asked me, do you have any plans to marry Alea? This sentence made me hesitate for a moment. The old woman seldom cares about these things. After all, Alea is not her biological daughter. Now suddenly asking like this, there must be no good intention. Well, I have this plan. The old woman nodded. Good. I'll just tell you directly. Marriage is fine. But for the betrothal gifts, we want 500 yuan. I was slightly stunned. Damn it. Not to mention whether you, as a stepmother, have the right to speak. Even if you do, if all of Alea's parts are sold, can it be worth 500 yuan? I asked her curiously. Auntie, as far as I know, the betrothal gifts here are at most 100 yuan, right? Don't care how much it is here. I still have a son. I consider more things than you. Your brother recently got a girlfriend. The girlfriend's family is rich and they want face. They ask for 500 yuan in betrothal gifts as soon as they open their mouth. You should also know our family's situation. We don't have so much money. So, you must give this money. Of course, although the woman's family is rich, I may not return this 500 yuan to you after marriage. After all, your father-in-law and I also need to retire. Good guy. I just realized that she is asking for money for her son. 500 yuan. Why don't you go to the temple to make a wish? Of course. There is no need to say such words directly. I don't want to marry Alea anyway. Just teasing her. So I asked another question. Auntie? My brother is not useless. Why should we pay for the retirement money? Don't ask these useless questions. If you want to get married, give the money. If you don't want to, it doesn't matter. There are many people who are thinking about Alea. The old woman gave me a blank look. You can think it over carefully. If Calvin and his girlfriend succeed in the future, it will be a wealthy family. You will have many opportunities to curry favor with them. The more she talked, the more arrogant she became. As if she herself was about to marry into a wealthy family, she started pretending before anything was certain. I mocked in my heart. If you and your son succeed, I will wash my hair upside down. What does it mean that you are silent now? Do I take your silence as acquiescence? Or giving up voluntarily? Seeing that I was silent all the time, Alea's stepmother was obviously getting impatient. I thought you should give your son and stepdaughter a little time to start. I am just stalling for time with you, unchatting casually, thinking that it was almost time. I turned my head and looked at the opposite room. I think it's better to ask Alea's opinion on this matter. There are some words that I really shouldn't say directly, but since we are at the stage of discussing marriage, I think you also need to pay attention to your position. After all, you are a stepmother, and that one is a stepson, right? What do you mean? Alea's stepmother stood up anxiously. I quickly smiled and appeased her. Don't be excited. Alea must have talked to you about my family situation. I don't have much money. If she agrees to the 500 zaro yuan betrothal gift, of course I will find a way to give it. But in the future, I don't know if she is willing to bear this debt. Alea! Her stepmother seemed to want to strangle Alea. She shouted loudly in the west room, even more domineering than a biological mother. Seeing that Alea didn't come out, she even walked directly to the door and was about to enter by turning the doorknob, but she found that it was locked. Thump, thump, thump. What are you two doing inside? Open the door. The door was quickly opened. Alea's face was ashen, as if she was frightened. At this time, she quickly explained, the door is not locked. It seems that there is a problem with the lock. I didn't pay attention to her. I couldn't wait to focus all my attention on Calvin. At this time, Calvin's face was as red as if he had an allergy and he was still scratching continuously. He must have accidentally touched his face again while scratching, spreading it. I suppressed a smile and went up to show concern. There was resentment in Calvin's eyes when he looked at me. But he definitely didn't dare to directly say that it was because, but using my wet wipe, he could only rub his face pretending to be calm. It's nothing. Suddenly it's just itchy. Is it just the face that is itchy? As soon as this thought passed, Calvin made an excuse to leave. He should want to take a shower. I directly stopped him. Now I can't let him go. His laxative hasn't taken effect yet. I want to see if these two people without any bottom line can go further. One takes a shower and the other uses the toilet at the same time. Brother, you can't leave yet. What else do you want? Calvin's expression was stiff, as if he was about to get angry at any moment. Just now my aunt said that we should talk about the betrothal gift together. You can talk about it by yourselves. Calvin stamped his feet and was about to run away again. No, we can't talk without you. I forcibly grabbed his arm and refused to let him go no matter what. Calvin was so angry by me that he angrily shook off my hand and ran into the bathroom, like a 100-meter dash. I underestimated his determination, but soon after Calvin entered, a scream came out. Well, the sterilization begins. Calvin's mother was frightened by the sound and wanted to go and take a look, but she was stopped by Alea again. Mom, it's nothing. My brother is just having an allergic reaction. It's nothing serious. Alea definitely didn't want her stepmother to see her stepbrother naked. Otherwise, it would be exposed. Little did she know that this action of hers would bring her great trouble. The old woman looked Alea up and down. Alea, you are at the stage of discussing marriage. Your brother also has a girlfriend. In the past, it was okay to play around, but in the future, be more careful. After all, you have no blood relationship. If people misunderstand, you won't be able to clear your name even if you jump into the Yellow River. Moreover, your future sister-in-law's family is very conservative. I don't want your brother's marriage to have any rumors because of you at that time. Alea's stepmother was wholeheartedly thinking about her son and forcibly gave Alea ideological education class. She probably started to suspect Alea was extremely guilty, but because I was on the scene, she complained Cocathus lied cutely to her stepmother for talking nonsense. But no matter how it looked, it was like joking. If this kind of thing was really being wronged, a normal woman would have cursed a long time ago. So fake. After educating Alea, her stepmother couldn't wait to start the negotiation for the 500 yuan betrothal gift. I deliberately observed Alea's expression. Calm, natural, and completely unconcerned. It seems that she is deeply in love. She is fully prepared to let me be the sucker. Fortunately, I am as calm as water. Now, even if it's 1,000,000 yuan, I can listen to the two of you making wishes without changing my expression. At the same time, I was also praying, let this old woman's laxative take effect quickly. I can't wait to watch the show. Amen. Amitabha. Just after I finished praying, Alea's stepmother suddenly froze for a moment. Her lips were tightly pursed and her eyes were dazed, as if she was feeling the changes in her stomach. Then after a while, the corner of her mouth twitched. She supported the edge of the cane and moved to the side. She walked out of the door with her legs clamped. Alea quickly went over to support her. Definitely a super good stepdaughter. My stomach hurts. That lobster is not fresh. At the toilet door, Calvin hadn't come out yet. His mother was so anxious that she wanted to call but didn't dare to shout loudly. She shouted in a low voice. Calvin, hurry up. Splash, splash, splash. The sound of running water suppressed her request. At the same time, this sound seemed to make her even more unable to hold it. She was so anxious that she was pacing back and forth on the spot. In fact, if it was a normal person, at this time, they would definitely go to the next door, without hesitation to borrow the toilet. But this old woman is not liked wherever she goes. Let alone borrowing the toilet. I'm afraid that even in the wild, people would throw clods at her. Of course. Except for old men with other thoughts. Seeing that this couldn't go on, Alea quickly shouted loudly into the toilet. But Calvin should not have finished yet. It took her 5 full minutes of shouting before he came out wrapped in clothes. The old woman was like a runaway wild horse. She shook off Alea's hand and rushed into the toilet like crazy. After about 10 minutes, she came out. But the first thing she did was to change into a set of clothes. The situation just now was self-evident. I quite regretted it. If I had expected it to develop to this extent, I should have wiped her panties with a wet wipe. Let you dream all day long and wake you up with itching. This lunch was extremely heavy. No one dared to eat crayfish anymore. But they dared to eat crabs and pork knuckles. Since crabs have many shells, the laxative probably doesn't have such a strong effect. But I can't guarantee for the pork knuckle. My future father-in-law is a person who lives a serious life and is reluctant to eat. Almost all the things were eaten by Calvin and his mother. In this way, I guess they will have to fight for the toilet again in the afternoon. On the way back, Alea and I didn't say a word. When we got home, it was Alea who couldn't hold it anymore. She tentatively asked me, Husband, this 500 on betrothal gift, I can give it, but I don't have the money. I answered very readily. Alea couldn't hide her joy. She lovingly pulled my arm and looked up at my eyes. Husband, I knew you love me the most. Then in that case, can't we just sell your parents' house? Sell the house? I widened my eyes. I didn't expect that Alea was actually thinking about my parents' house. She is really incurable. That's the house for their retirement. If we sell the house, where will they live in the future? There is still a house in the rural hometown. Just go back and live there. Aren't my parents also in the countryside? Are you kidding? My family's house in the countryside hasn't been lived in for more than 10 years and has become a dilapidated house. How can we live there? My expression changed a little. Alea's tone also fluctuated slightly. So what? Don't you just want to talk without taking action? So I asked. Alea, then what about us? What stepmother? Stepbrother? They are very good to me. I seem to have touched Alea's sore spot. Her own suddenly became much higher. I nodded speechlessly. Your one good word makes us bear a debt of 500 yuan? Or makes my parents homeless. You can understand it this way. Anyway, I have made it very clear. If we don't pay this money, our wedding won't happen. Alea was sulking unleft by slamming the door. I watched her by the window. After seeing Alea leave the community, she immediately got into a taxi. Well, since it didn't succeed at noon, she couldn't hold it back. Master, go to EGA, a 345 chain hotel. Little did she know that I had put a bug in her backpack. I immediately opened a small website. There are all kinds of. On it, I found a blogger who specializes in pranks. His nickname is Crazy. He is from our city. His style is very unique. Thousands of people watch him every day. Without hesitation, I gave him 1,000 yuan. When he called out to his fans, I gave him a task. I asked him to help me catch the adulterer at the hotel. As soon as these 2 words came out, the barrage exploded directly. Crazy, what are you waiting for? It's in your city. Yes, Crazy, if you really go, I guarantee that your live stream will be very popular. Don't dawdle. I've shared it. Act quickly. Crazy was still a little hesitant at first, but soon, under the influence of the barrage and the temptation of me adding more money, he agreed. He immediately set off for the target hotel. At the same time, a voice came from my bug. It was Calvin's. Bastard. There is something wrong with the wet wipe that bastard gave me. There is salt in our shower water. And for the food, my mom had diarrhea at noon. And in the afternoon, the 2 of us had diarrhea together. It must not be a coincidence. Does that cuckold know about our affairs? Alea was silent for a long time and said in a hesitant tone, now that you say it like this, it's really possible. He used to obey me in everything. But tonight we had a big fight. Brother Calvin, if he really has found out, will you marry me? Don't be silly, baby sister. Although we have no blood relationship, if it gets out, people will laugh at us. What's so ridiculous? I love you and you love me. Isn't that enough? Alea seemed unhappy. Listening to her tone, I realized that this woman was really in love with Calvin, but Calvin is different. He and his mother are both having daydreams of marrying into a wealthy family. Alea is just a plaything. Isn't this a conflict? I thought for a moment and immediately gave the task to the anchor Crazy. After he rushed into the room, he should cover the woman with a quilt first and try to be partial to me to make Calvin suspicious. Alea. Next, brother will let you taste the feeling of a broken heart. In this way, tonight we can discuss what to do. No, but for you, I bought a sexy lingerie on the way. Quick, put it on. The intense battle between the 2 began. The sounds were unbearable. I stared at the screen anxiously. Fortunately, Crazy arrived quickly. I quickly told him the room number I overheard. Crazy was extremely smooth in doing pranks. He got the key card from the cleaning aunt and immediately took the aunt to the door of room 302. Before the aunt could react, he swiped the card and opened the door in one go. Immediately, there was a scream. In the picture, a man and a woman were naked. The man rolled to the side in panic. Crazy was fast. Before Calvin and Alea could react further, he rushed forward in one step and covered Alea with a quilt. Then he put the phone camera in front of Calvin's face. Bastard. What are you doing? Calvin was furious and extremely panicked. Crazy pulled back the camera and gave him a close-up. The barrage began to fill the screen. Awesome. I saw everything. This woman has a good figure. I'm jealous. Film the woman. Film the woman. Why cover her with a quilt? Take away her quilt. Hurry up. Crazy didn't linger. After filming all this, he left quickly with his head down. I recorded all this and saved it. Now holding these evidences, there is no problem in playing them to death. I don't know what reaction Alea's stepmother will have when she finds out that her precious son's soft rice bowl has been destroyed by her stepdaughter. Similarly, what will Calvin think about today's events? Who are they? Calvin's panicked voice appeared again. How would I know who they are? I could tell that Alea was also very panicked. A clear voice came out. Calvin roared, except for you and me. No one else knows about coming to the hotel. Who is the third person? There was a pause for a moment. Then there was the sound of Alea sobbing. You hit me. I'm hitting you. A chaotic sound of beating and screaming came as expected. After a full 5 minutes, Calvin threatened while panting. Aliyah, I warn you. Don't ruin my lifelong event. I'm just playing with you. For excitement. That's all. No matter who that person who rushed in just now is. If today's matter is exposed, I will skin you. Woo woo woo. Aliyah cried and ran away. She cried all the way in the taxi and returned home in the middle of the night. The first thing she did when she got home was to run into the bedroom and throw herself into my arms. Husband, I've thought it through. Our money should not be given to anyone. I don't want to help that Calvin pay the betrothal gift. Slap. I stared wide-eyed, swung my arm round and slapped her still flushed face. I had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Originally, I don't hit women. It feels great. Aliyah was stunned by my slap. With tears streaming down her face, she looked at me in shock and fear. Husband, what are you doing? Get out. I kicked her off the bed. Aliyah, you are really something. You forced me to pay 500 yuan and even wanted to sell my parents' house. When you saw that I refused, you left home in the middle of the night. It's fine if you leave. You don't answer the phone and turn off your mobile phone. Now you come back crying as if you have had a great awakening. I treated you like a treasure. But you treated me like a fool? Aliyah immediately felt guilty. She might have suspected that I knew about the hotel incident. She crawled over extremely self-blaming. Husband, forgive me. Please forgive me. I wouldn't let her know about this. After all, Calvin's marriage is not over yet. Aliyah's tragedy has just begun. Looking at Aliyah, who was crying bitterly, I pretended to be unable to bear it and closed my eyes. She threw herself into my arms. Don't be like this in the future. Aliyah's body froze for a moment. I promise I will never do it again. Her voice was weak. After saying that, she burst into loud sobs. Look, how much has she been hurt by Calvin? 2 days later, my opportunity came. Aliyah received a call from home, saying that Calvin's girlfriend was coming to their house to discuss marriage and asked us to go back for a meal. I will never forget Aliyah's expression when she saw Calvin's girlfriend. The look of inferiority and lack of confidence couldn't be hidden even if she tried. His girlfriend is really good. She is graceful and noble. She brought thousands of yuan worth of gifts on her first visit. Aliyah's stepmother was extremely happy. Not only did she greet them obsequiously, but she also went into the kitchen for the first time. She really wanted to show off. But because she seldom cooked and was afraid of not entertaining well, she ordered me to make some of my specialties. How could I spoil her like this? I just sat on the cane and ate melon seeds. The old woman was so angry that her nose was almost crooked. Just as she was about to slightly control me, Aliyah stood in front of her with an unfriendly expression. The words Aliyah said in the next second stunned me and Calvin, who was bragging with his girlfriend in the room. Auntie, Nicholas is also a guest, not a servant. After calling her mom for several years, she suddenly changed the address. This shows that Aliyah is already angry. Doing this blatantly is definitely also to anger Calvin. Calvin was really panicked. After smiling and apologizing to his girlfriend, he took Aliyah outside. This stupid woman Aliyah has never found the bug on her body. This also gave me a further channel to eat melons. Calvin said in a low voice. Baby sister, stop making trouble, okay? How am I making trouble? It should be called auntie. Oh, it was all my fault that night. I misunderstood you. Baby sister, I promise you that after I get married, I will still love you as before, okay? Is what you said true? Damn, what a shock to the three of yous. Until now, Aliyah still fantasized about maintaining an underground relationship with her stepbrother. Is this love-brained or just pure stupid? Of course. I was just shocked for a moment. Now, Aliyah, even if she is with multiple people at the same time, I won't care. After getting a verbal promise, Aliyah was like a different person when she came back into the room. She even took the initiative to help her stepmother cook. Her stepmother's confused look at that time made me want to laugh. After the meal was ready, the family sat together in such a muddled way. I have to say that today's lunch is really sumptuous. I have been with Alea for several years and have come here many times. I haven't even eaten pepper pork. Today I am benefiting from it. During the meal, the old woman intentionally or unintentionally mentioned the matter of betrothal gifts. Calvin's girlfriend looked at Calvin adoringly. She said, "Uncle and Auntie, the $500 on betrothal gift my parents mentioned last time was actually said in anger. Now they have agreed not to ask for betrothal gifts. No betrothal gifts. Oh, that's great." The old woman was extremely happy. But then she glanced at me and said sarcastically, "It's still your family that is rich. For people like us who have no money, receiving betrothal gifts can give a guarantee to the girl. Nicholas, don't you think so?" The topic was turned to me. I nodded with a smile and asked, "Then Auntie, how much betrothal gift are you going to ask for?" The old woman didn't expect me to dare to ask back. At this time, it was not right to say it or not to say it. So she simply said, "We will talk about your and Alea's matter later. Don't wait for later. Say it now, so that I can be mentally prepared." I was aggressive. The old woman's face changed. "According to the market price here, 100 yuan. Are you satisfied?" "No." "What?" The old woman thought that she had made a concession. But she didn't expect my answer to be so decisive. "You don't even have 100 yuan. I'm not lying. I really don't have it. First, I am not very successful on darn little money. Second, every time I come to your house, I have to buy a lot of food and supplies. I haven't saved a penny." The expressions of the old woman, Calvin, and Alea all changed immediately. They could all hear my meaning and also hear that I was deliberately complaining. I threw off her hand. "You have already been honest with me. Why are you still partial to Calvin now?" After hearing this, Calvin's face suddenly turned pale. He looked at Alea with a fierce gaze. Alea didn't know why and was so embarrassed that she didn't know what to do. I suddenly laughed. "Everyone don't mind. I think today's atmosphere is too stiff, so I am ease the situation. Sister-in-law, Calvin is a very good person. His family is also good. As someone who has been through it, I tell you that you can date him, right, Alea?" Alea was like being pardoned. She nodded with a smile. "Yes, sister-in-law. Let's eat quickly." Calvin's girlfriend, because she has never been in contact with this family and is simple, probably didn't see anything. After the meal, she took the initiative to propose holding an engagement banquet in half a month. Alea and her family were of course very willing. I am also very willing. I didn't expose them directly just now, because today's occasion is too small. How can it be worthy of the magnificent love of this pair of scumbags? After going home, Alea gave me an ideological education, work painstakingly again. The general meaning is don't blame her stepmother's previous style. It's good that the betrothal gift has been reduced. I really want to ask her, "What do you mean by reduced?" "It's generally 100 yuan. Do you still think this is a favor?" I didn't get into this dead end after all. I silently planned the engagement banquet in half a month. Time passed quickly. Half a month later, Calvin's engagement banquet arrived as scheduled. His girlfriend's family is impressive. They chose a 5-star hotel. The people present should also be big shots. Everyone is elegant and looks wealthy. The old woman had come early. Today she was actually wearing an evening dress. Looking from a distance, it seemed okay. But looking closer, goodness. It's like a domestic chicken dyeing its feathers and pretending to be a peacock. It's completely like Dongshi imitating Shishi. A person's temperament can't be imitated. Forcing it can only make oneself unable to step down. But this old woman didn't seem to care at all. She was chatting and laughing with strange old men with a wine glass, completely ignoring the disgusted gaze of the old men. At this time, I realized that my future father-in-law didn't come. After asking Alea, I found out that the old woman was afraid that my future father-in-law would be embarrassing and didn't let him come. Awesome. Alea went to help. I ran to the backstage and found the master of ceremonies. I handed him the USB flash drive that I had prepared long ago, and I told him that this is the witness of the love between the prospective groom and bride. It was collected by a girl named Alea. The master of ceremonies gave me a thumbs up, meaningfully unpraised, that rich people really know how to be romantic. I don't know if it's romantic. All I know is that it's slutty. At 11:40 noon, the engagement ceremony started on time. After the master of ceremonies completed all the procedures, when it was time to exchange engagement rings, he said passionately, "Love is a happy harbor. Love is the gathering of all kinds of romances. I am fortunate to have obtained the love moments of the two prospective newlyweds provided by Miss Alea. Now let's enjoy it together." Calvin's hand that was putting on the ring suddenly trembled and the ring fell to the ground. "Don't play it." He rushed over to stop the master of ceremonies. But the master of ceremonies had already clicked. The picture taken by the prank anchor Crazy that day was directly presented. There was an immediate uproar at the scene. Some gazes focused on Calvin, and some focused on Alea. Alea was stunned and almost wanted to find a crack to crawl into. The smile on the old woman's face just now also suddenly disappeared. She hurriedly stood up and explained, "Everyone listen to me. There must be some misunderstanding. They are siblings and won't do such things." Siblings. The melon is too big. The wonderful expressions of the guests couldn't be hidden. On the stage, Calvin's bride-to-be, who was just about to enter, slapped him in the face, threw away the ring and turned to leave. Calvin hurriedly chased after her. Seeing this, the old woman frantically grabbed Alea and slapped her hard. "You stupid girl. Didn't I warn you to stay away from Calvin?" Alea's face was scratched like a bloody gourd. She broke free from the old woman's beating and angrily ran in front of me. "Nicholas, did you do this? Congratulations. You guessed right. But there is no reward. Alea, let's break up." Ha! I turned around and left. When Alea chased after me relentlessly, I made a 180-degree turn and my mouth landed hard on her face. "You are still reasonable for cheating. Think about what to do next." I moved on the same day and blacklisted all of Alea's contact information, but I still collected various information secretly, because I am curious. Then I learned that not only did Calvin's marriage fall through, but he was also beaten up by the woman's family. They even clearly told him that he couldn't live in this city anymore. The woman's family really has this strength. After such an embarrassing incident in front of so many upper-class people, they naturally won't let Calvin go easily. Calvin is finished in this city. The strange one is still Alea. After learning that her beloved person's marriage was called off, she actually had the nerve to go home and ask for love. As a result, she was beaten up by Calvin and his mother. Her father couldn't stop them. In the end, the mother and son took away the only tens of thousands of yuan left in the Lin family and ran away. Alea's heart was broken and she reported the case. After they were caught, they seemed to have been in jail for a while. Calvin with a criminal record was even more unbearable. He angrily beat Alea into disability and completely let himself go and went to prison. The old woman had no hope of living and hanged herself. It's a pity that the pair of scumbags didn't end up together in the end. But the ending is still perfect.